is, so my video last week went down really well on how to speak to your children about coronavirus. And so I had a few people ask me if I wouldn't mind doing a video on some coping strategies and ways that we can manage our fear, anxiety, overwhelm, all these, sort of horrible feelings that are stirring up in us all at the moment when we're sat at home dealing with this crisis, the coronavirus epidemic. So I wanted to give I'll try and keep it, I'll try not to babble on too much, but I've got 5 points that we can kind of use at home, tips that we can use and things that we can do to ensure that we're not becoming too overwhelmed, that we're dealing with our anxieties in the right way, and that we're being kind to ourselves. Practicing, taking responsibility for our feelings and emotions at this time. So the first, I had 5 sort of points I wanted to make, and the first one, it kind of scares people off a little bit because maybe they don't understand it, but it's meditation. And the only thing that really means is finding some time and space, which we all have at the moment during the day, to have a little sit down on your own, preferably somewhere quiet and still where you're comfortable, and just allowing the thoughts and feelings, closing your eyes, that's usually helpful, and just allowing any thoughts and feelings to come into your body, into your mind, because usually what we have two ways really of dealing with anxiety. One of those ways is to avoid it, which a lot of us do, which I know I did for a long time. Keep busy, avoid it, push it down. Another is to feed it, to feed the anxiety, to look for things that confirm the things that you're scared about. And both of those ways are really unhelpful and really negative ways to deal with our anxiety. So when we're thinking about trying to meditate, we're sitting down in a quiet, calm place by ourselves, closing our eyes and just allowing the thoughts and the feelings to come in. We're not pushing them away. We're not judging ourselves for the feelings. We're just almost looking at our thoughts and feelings as an outsider and thinking, oh, well, yeah, I'm thinking that, I might be in danger because of this, or I'm feeling, an anxious knot in my stomach, and just allowing those to come in. There doesn't have to be an answer. We're just sitting, we're taking some time to really process what we're feeling. And we might need to cry. We might need to let out some emotion. There are things that our body will tell us that we need to do, and just following the guidance from our body. So taking some time to meditate every day can be really useful. That's the first step. The second one is grounding. So grounding, when we're grounding ourselves, there's lots of different ways we can do it, but it's all about coming into our body, so out of our heads where all this anxiety and thoughts and all this madness is going on at the moment, and into our bodies and into the present moment. So anxiety is usually rooted in the past, worries about the past, worries about the future. In this very moment right now, I'm sat making this video, you're watching this video, you're breathing, everything is okay. In this exact moment right now, you are not needed anywhere else, you are fine, you are safe, you're okay. So grounding ourselves into the exact moment that we are in the present, can be a really helpful way of dealing with anxiety. And the ways we can ground ourselves are by doing some stretches. Some people like to do yoga. Exercise, I find that a really good way to ground myself because I can feel, my body, so I'm more involved in my body rather than in my head. There are breathing exercises you can do. The Calm app is a really good one, and Headspace, they will give you some guidance when it comes to meditation and also grounding. And you can use your senses, so you can just, like I said before with the meditation, sit somewhere where you feel calm and still and use your senses. Look around you. What can you smell? What can you feel? What can you see? And just name a few things, using your senses to bring you into this moment that's happening right now, because right now, on this exact moment, you are safe. So the first two, we've got meditation and grounding. They can be helpful things to help us deal with anxiety. Also, when it comes to grounding, mindfulness and doing activities in a mindful way can also be a grounding exercise. So doing some crafts, gardening. I've been out in the garden all day yesterday, doing something where you're in the moment, you're focused 100% on what you're doing right now. Something quite intricate is good as well, just to make sure you're focused on the now, and not the anxiety. The next thing I would say is to consider your actions. So your actions, what are they, and are they helpful? Are you staying up late at night listening to the news? Are you eating a load of junk food? Do you have a routine? Because routine is really helpful, to get up at the same time every day and go to bed at the same time every day. Maybe have lunch at the same time. That can be helpful. Are you eating, sleeping? Are you feeding or avoiding the anxiety? What are you doing with the anxiety? Are you avoiding it? Because if you're avoiding it, it can get to a point where it's overwhelming and it will have to come out at some point. So try not to do that. Also, are you feeding it? Are you looking online? Are you constantly on social media or having negative conversations or interactions which are feeding into your anxiety? So that's thinking about your actions and thinking about what actions you can take or stop taking. The fourth one was self-compassion, which is always just so important for any sort of healing work at all. To realise that we can be afraid and still be strong. So many people think that anxiety is a sign of weakness, but actually acknowledging that we are all anxious right now, we're all in this together, and anxiety is a normal response to fear. It's a normal response. It keeps us safe. And so we can't run away from it. It's there, but we can own it, and we can still be strong people with self-respect and self-compassion. And also, when we're judging ourselves, just like children, if a child is scared, but they feel like they're being judged for their actions, then they'll act irrationally. And we are irrational when we feel we're being judged, even if that judgment is coming from ourselves. So and if we don't have self-compassion, then a really good way to kind of try and build some of that is to write down positive qualities about yourself. So write down what's good about you. What are your values? Are you kind? Are you, write down your positive qualities on a piece of paper, and then think about the actions you're taking. And are they in line with your values? Are they in line with your positive qualities? Are they sort of showing the person that you want to be? And how can your actions reflect your values? So how are you going to be remembered as being during this time? Is that going to be in line with your values? And that can be a starting point. So not judging ourselves and having self-compassion, forgiving ourselves if we've not been doing the right things up till now, but making a plan on how we can use our values to start taking the right actions for ourselves. And the last one was really, what I say to anyone in any situation always is to connect. And that's connecting to yourself. So understanding what's going on inside of you and accepting it. Connecting to other people, which is quite difficult when you're in isolation, but you can still use lots of different methods to speak to people. Make sure you're phoning people. Talk to the neighbour who you maybe haven't spoken to over the garden fence. Do video calls with people. Make sure that you're connecting with other people. And also, is there anything that you can give right now? Is there anything that you're good at that you can give to other people? How can you help others? Because that's helping others is a way that we can always help ourselves, our self-esteem, and ourselves. So to summarize the meditation, just allow a little bit of time each day where you can be still and quiet and listen to your thoughts and feelings and truly feel them, not push them to one side. Grounding, so grounding activities, breathing exercises, using your senses, doing intricate things or gardening, things where you can get involved and be present in the now, in this very moment, because in this moment you're safe. Considering your actions, whether they're helping you or not. Having self-compassion, forgiving yourself, and being kind to yourself, and connecting to yourself and connecting to other people. I'm hoping to post maybe a video once a week or something like that. So if anybody's got any suggestions or wants to know about anything in particular with regards to mental health, then please just let us know on the Moment a Day page on Facebook or on my own page. And yeah, I hope that helped. Keep safe.